Hi, today I have got my October wrap up. I read 5 books in October, 2 paperbacks, 1 ebook book and 2 audios. I'm going to start with the one I read the first to the last. So the first one I read was Another Rebecca. I got this from Love Book Tours to do a review, and I don't know why, but I thought it was something to do with Rebecca, the book Rebecca, the old book, and this is like an updated new version or something. But no, it's nothing to do with that. This is about Rebecca Gray. She is her mum. She lives with her mum. Her mum is an alcoholic. Her mum is also called Rebecca, but goes by the name of Bex. And she is hiding a secret basically in the book. She says she's always depressed and drinking all the time. She's the reason that she does it is because of her great grief. And it goes into the life, and Rebecca gets in touch with her dad that she hasn't seen since she was never. And so I think she saw him when she started seeing him when she was 18 and starts a relationship with him then. And it goes back into their past, and she finds out what her mother's great grief was, and yeah, it's just basically about that. It's a lot. It's got a lot about alcoholism in there, which I thought was quite good and done really, really good. The characters was really good. It was an okay story, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. The next one I read was Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This one I listened to on audiobook. I have this on my list of 175 books I have to read that is supposed to be on top people's list and things. And this is one of them. So I saw it on audio. I thought I'll just listen to it. Basically, it's about, is her name? I can't remember her name. Edith? Something like that. It's an E anyway. And it's basically about Sylvia Plath's real life, but I never actually knew it was based on her until after I finished the book. And it's basically about how she's trying to get into writing, going through college and things like this, but how she's also suffering with mental health problems and depression, and how she actually goes into a mental health institution and tries to take her life, and how she's really struggling. I enjoyed listening to it, but the narrator was Maggie Glendale. I can't remember her last name. She's an actress, and I just didn't think it. I just don't know. I just didn't like the voice in it. I don't know. It just didn't sound like it matched me. I don't know. It's too American, too much of an American accent, I would say. But the book was okay. I didn't really think it was. I thought it would be better than what it was. I only rated it 2.5 stars. So we'll just move on from that one. After that, I read Under the Whispering Door, which I got from NetGalley. Also, I read this on ebook. This is by TJ Klune, and this isn't his first book. He's written a few others, but I did see The House at the Edge of Corallian Sea. Is that what it's called? I saw it advertised over a year, and loads of people was commenting on it, how good it was. But I didn't really pick it up because the front cover looked like a middle grade front cover, and it's what I was looking for, an adult read, but this looked like a middle grade, so I just didn't bother. But then I thought, everybody's talking about this one, so I thought, I'll give it a try. And this also front cover looks like a middle grade book, like the same kind of cover as the other one. I'm glad I picked it up. It was amazing. It's about this guy called Wallace, who is a really, I won't say naughty word then, but I better not. He's a really bit of a brat, and he's a lawyer, and he's nasty to everyone. And then he dies. And then it goes on to there when he's at his own funeral, watching everybody. Only 3 people turn up to his funeral, I think. And this girl called May comes and collects him because she's a reaper, and she's going to come and take him back to her tea shop, a little tea shop in the middle of nowhere where she lives with Yu, and Yu is a ferryman who helps people cross over to the other world. So back at this tea shop, there's a door which keeps like whispering things to them. And eventually the Reaper has to, the ferryman, Yu, has to help him go through the door to the next life. And also at this tea shop is Nelson, which is Yu's granddad, he is actually a ghost who hasn't passed through the door yet, and also Apollo, which is Yugo's dead dog, ghost dog. And I just really loved all the characters are just so good. I loved all of them. It was quite funny in places, it had me in tears in places. It was such a great read. And also Wallace comes out as being gay, and he has a relationship with Yugo, who's also gay. And I think that was really well done. And I just really loved the book. It was just amazing. It's so good. I just can't get over it. And I just really loved the way how they described the death process and how they helped people who died and who was not willing to accept that they had died. And it was just really good. And I just gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I loved it. And I'm going to pick his other books up now, just because I so love that so much. And I'm hoping all his other books that he's wrote before are just as good as this one. This is probably my favourite read of the year so far, this one. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars for this one. Then I read a paperback, which I've had on my shelf since beginning of this year, I think it was. This is Later by Stephen King. I've read quite a few Stephen Kings, but when I read them, there was like going back over 20 years ago when I was like a teenager. So half of them I can't even remember as much really. But I thought, I haven't read a Stephen King in years, so I'll pick this one up. It's only quite a shortish one. And it's part of the Hard Case Crime. And this one follows a boy called Jamie. It shows you from when he's about 7 up to when he's about 15, I want to say. And he has got a gift of being able to see dead people just a few hours or so after they've died. And his mum is a publisher or something to do with books. And her top writer person, whatever you call it, is writing his last book. But as he's halfway through writing his last book, he drops down dead. So she asked Jamie to go with her to talk to the dead author to write the last book. So Jamie tells her everything the guy told her, and they write this last book and publish it as if he had wrote it before he died, all of it. And it goes to #1 and things like this. And then later on, her girlfriend, who's a police officer, his mum's girlfriend is a police officer, and she wants Jamie to help in this case of this guy's died, and she wants him to help in this case. And Jamie goes along and helps only because his mum, girlfriend, threatens to expose the truth about this book and everything, who actually wrote it and things like this. So he goes along and everything, and there's lots of twists and turns, and it's really exciting. I really loved it. I love Jamie. I love the concept of it, and I really enjoyed this one, and I've loved the twist towards the ends and stuff. It was really good. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And the last one I read was another audio, and I got this one from Love Books Tours again. It's the second in the Widdershins duology. I read the Widdershins first one last month, and I gave that 5 out of 5 stars, and it ended on an amazing cliffhanger. I couldn't wait to pick this one up. So I picked this one up, and it was just as good. It was 5 out of 5 stars. It carries on from the last book, and it's taken in turns following John Sharp, who is an absolute new knobhead, and Jane, who is apparently a so-called witch, even though, whatever. And it takes turns in that, and it's just really good. It's so good. And the ending, ooh, I love the ending and hated it at the same time. It was just so good. I can't really go into much details because it's the second book, and it gives a lot of things away from the first book. So you need to read the first book before you read the second book. But I really enjoyed this one again. And this was another 5 out of 5 stars. So yes, I think, to be honest, I love reading books about witches and stuff like that. And this is actually technically based, or the first one is more, based on the real witch trials that happened in Newcastle. Which I didn't know that until after I read the first one either. But the second one's more just carrying on from the first one, but it's not based on if you know what I mean. Anyway, yeah, and I think, to be honest, this may be my favourite duology series. I really loved it, and because I've read them both on audiobook, I'm going to have to go about and buy them on paperback, so I've got them actually physically on my bookshelves, because I just love physical books more than anything. So yes, that's everything I read. Overall, I enjoyed this month. It was a good month. Most of my book reviews will be on my blog, which is on serenityu.com. I always post my reviews up on Goodreads, and they go up on Goodreads before they come up here. So go and check that out. Links are all below. Also, I have a book Instagram account, so you can go and follow me on book Instagram account where I show photos. I'm also doing a photo challenge where you can win a giveaway, win a book on your Amazon list each month. So go and check that out, and that's at Instagram.com, whatever, at Tea and Book Lover. So go and check that out, and hopefully I'll have another good reading month this November, and I'll see you again in about a month's time.